Get our water purifier back and do it quietly. There are walkers everywhere. Good luck.
Overkill's The Walking Dead is a co-op action game set in the same world as the Walking Dead graphic novels and TV show. That is to say, it's set in a world where flesh-eating zombies, also known as walkers, are shuffling around like they own the place, and humanity is firmly on the back foot. In a world such as this, basic survival is your day job, as well as your night job, your side hustle, and your main hobby. But how, you might well ask, does one go about surviving Robert Kirkman's post-apocalyptic America? Well, we've played the game and have returned from the zombie front lines with these all-important ways to survive in Overkill's The Walking Dead, so listen up.
We were so many things. Husbands and wives, doctors and teachers, writers and architects. But when the world ended, all that ended too.
Overkill's The Walking Dead invites you and 3 other players to team up and collaborate on your survival, with each of you playing a particular member of this 4-person crew, each bringing their own skills to the squad. Said squad consists of characters Aiden, Heather, Maya and Grant.
Don't you worry, sweetheart. I'll find you.
And if you noticed how none of them are Norman Reedus, then full points for observation. You won't be running into familiar characters from the TV show all over the place, because this game is set in Washington, DC. What with the TV show being set in Georgia and the considerable distance between DC and the Peach State, the opportunity for crossover is strictly limited. Besides, Norman Reedus has his hands full enough these days. You seem busy, Daryl. Now, genius-level word spellers such as we know that there's no I in team. But there is an I in help. I am being eaten by a zombie, so you better learn to work well with others. Each member of the squad has a specific role to play, defined by their skill tree and playstyle, and if you're going to make it through a mission alive, you dang well better play your roles. Maya, for instance, is the team's medic, so look to her for keeping you healthy when you've had your neck gnawed on by a hungry walker.
Here, patch up.
Basically, don't be like the rude jerks in the Walking Dead TV show, always yelling at each other and not working together. Come on, guys. Teamwork makes the dream work. The game is officially known as Overkill's The Walking Dead to distinguish it from Telltale's Walking Dead games. Because if you'd come to this game expecting slow burn emotional character development interspersed with quick-time events and only occasional violence, you're in for quite the surprise. Still might do some crying though. Ugh. Also, don't expect to be doing much overkilling, because to say ammo is scarce would be an understatement. It turns out that among all the supply shortages survivors have to contend with after society has collapsed, the bullet famine is the most dire of all. And you'll have to carefully conserve your ammunition if you want to scrape through another day undigested by a horde of deadly walkers.
Okay, find a way to fix the forklift.
If you're playing as Heather here, for example, you'll want to swap tactically between your crossbow, your axe weapon, and your sidearm. The crossbow is slow but effective and quiet at range. Your axe obviously requires no ammo and is gruesome as hell. And in a tight spot, your sidearm will do the trick against a larger group of walkers, at least until it runs out of bullets. Your crossbow, on the other hand, fires bolts that can be retrieved from your fallen enemy, just so long as you're cool with wrenching a crossbow bolt out of someone's rotting eye socket. Here in the post-apocalypse, your crossbow truly is your best friend.
Not now.
Crossbow? I thought we were friends. As a development studio, Overkill is best known for its cooperative heist simulating shooter series Payday. And if you've played that, you'll probably sense the similarity between this objective-driven co-op shooter and the Payday objective-driven co-op shooters.
Opening the gate.
Mind you, Overkill's The Walking Dead is more than just Payday with zombies.
Reloading.
For instance, how many times in Payday did you bust into a bank and get your leg stuck in a bear trap? None that I can remember. Probably because banks can afford more high-tech security measures than heavy-duty animal traps. In The Walking Dead, on the other hand, enemy humans have rigged abandoned buildings with all kinds of booby traps, such as bear traps and tripwires. These traps are placed procedurally in appropriate spots, meaning they won't be in the same place every time you rerun a mission. So keep a sharp eye out for these, or it won't just be walkers chewing on your shin bones. Ow! Still better than that goddamn thermal drill in Payday.
Tread carefully. They won't give up our water purifier without a fight.
Speaking of enemy humans are just the worst. Unlike the shambling walkers, the hostile humans of The Walking Dead can use guns, work together, and shout mean things at you. Hey, words hurt! They're also much more easily alerted than those dozy zombies, so if you want to survive, and who doesn't, then staying out of sight and being quiet is much more important around these jerks. And while we're on the subject of being quiet,
Get our water purifier back and do it quietly. There are walkers everywhere. Good luck.
if you want to survive in a zombie apocalypse, you need to make as little noise as possible. That's because noise attracts walkers, and in case you haven't been paying attention, we're kind of keen to avoid those guys. Of course, some noise is unavoidable with all the running and fighting and screaming and crying that you'll be doing, but you need to keep an eye on the meter you see here in the top middle of the screen. The more noise you make, the more it fills, and there are 3 levels indicated by the dots. Fill in a dot and you'll find a lot more walkers around, drawn to your location by all your banging and clanging. Like here, when we used a forklift to lift a gate out of the way and discovered this little welcoming committee ready to greet us.
Reloading.
That being said, you can also use this knowledge to your advantage, such as here, where we released a load of caged walkers onto the humans I mentioned in the previous point. Having to fire their unsilenced weapons to take out the zombies meant that all of a sudden they were the noisiest thing in the immediate vicinity, and so drew even more zombies to their location, leaving them distracted and easy pickings for our crack squad of zombie survivalists. Take that! I mean, oh no, truly, man is the real monster.
Now this I can use.
If you want to live a long and alive life in the zombie apocalypse, you need to be crafty, both figuratively and literally.
I'm taking this.
As you explore the ruins of society, you'll discover, along with hundreds and hundreds of horrible corpses, resources that you can use to craft useful gear to help you in your quest to live long enough that you become a beloved fan favourite character, only to have your head smashed in by Negan.
This will be useful.
Look through drawers, closets and containers, and you'll find chemicals, cloth, metal and gadgets.
I found something.
And bringing up a radial menu shows you items that are available to craft, and exactly how many of each component you'll need to find before you can do so.
Now this I can use.
In the demo we played, the craftable items were smoke bombs,
Throwing a smoke grenade.
which are useful for staying out of sight and confusing enemies, throwing knives for a quick attack that can save you in a pinch, and most useful of all, lockpicks, which allow you to get into previously inaccessible places. Still, it's too bad we can't craft the one thing we humans really need in the zombie apocalypse: a tricked out battle van covered in chainsaws.
Fuel, fuses. What else do you want, my firstborn?
Those were some hot tips for keeping yourself unmurdered by a mob of walkers in Overkill's The Walking Dead. Are you stoked for this squad shooter, or is your enthusiasm for it less lively than one of the actual undead?
Watch out, sniper there.
Let us know in the comments if you'd be so kind, and maybe even subscribe if you'd like more videos like this one. Thanks for watching.
Never thought I'd be so happy to see a water purifier in my life.
Great work. Fire your flare to signal Caleb.
Use
Let's
it.
get you guys home.